Welcome to another scriptural study. In fact, a scriptural and astronomical study where we are preparing to prove the next lunar eclipse. Yes, we're also preparing to prove exactly the second month on the celestial clock and calendar of YaHUaH. And in preparing in advance, we always forecast, which basically means to calculate or predict some future event or condition, usually as a result of study and analysis of available pertinent data. Well, let's go look at this available pertinent data as it relates to the next new moon day or new month, which is a lunar eclipse that anyone can test and prove in creation for their very selves all over Earth, because it will occur on the evening going into the night period just before midnight on the pagan day of Sunday, May 15th, past midnight into the pagan day of Monday, May 16th, 2022. So we're looking for film and photograph footage of this next new month or new moon day, which is a lunar eclipse. So again, as always, stop the video at any time to focus on both the scriptural and astronomical information being shared, because we let YaHUaH teach us to number our days and let us bring the heart to wisdom, and not any man and or woman. As always, we use the sun, moon, and stars along with this latest lunar eclipse, because we match it up to what this lunar eclipse or blood red moon is going to rule with on this particular second month here in this pagan year of 2022. As always, we cover all of this material in our workshops. And if interested, please reach out to us at family1@rogers.com. We do them both on Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Skype, etc., where you get to work out your own deliverance by forecasting, and more importantly, getting outside to test and prove what actually happens in creation rather than following a man and or a woman. Again, we work out our own deliverance. So we do that with all moonrise events, as this particular sample in a 9th month. We check out every phase every day and its position where it rises and its illumination every day. And as you can notice, when you understand the moonrise event every day, if you number your days with the sun, moon, and stars, notice the pattern. It stays on the eastern side all the way up to the 15th and 16th day, and it makes its way back and starts that pattern over again. So that's moonrise. Stop the video right now. Take a look at the data. It's the pertinent available data that you can use to forecast. And a moonrise is one thing, but a moonset is on the opposite side, on the western side, if you will. And again, same data. Stop the video. Check out this sample from the 9th month of last year. And of course, we do between the 2nd and 3rd watch around the midnight time period. And this is where you get that circular effect with the moon, understanding its position to true north, its position to the horizon, and so forth. So again, stop the video at any time, because we also do sunrise and sunset. This is not the end-all, do-all witness. The real value for us in this witness is that the crucial elements for life on Earth, often called the building blocks of life, can be abbreviated as CHNOPS: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. For the first time, astronomers have cataloged the abundance of these elements in a huge sample of stars. So when you overlap the movement at sunrise of the moon and all its particular phases, let alone sunset, and you overlap them, you get a strand of DNA. We do not believe this is coincidence anymore. And as you know, on this YouTube channel, we also understand, based on this sample way back when, at the start of the year, in the pagan month of January, We share with people in the workshops the total time it takes for a 0.1% change in the phase of the moon. So as you can see here, an hour and 15 minutes to go from 99.1 to 99.2, an hour and 10 minutes to go to 99.3, all the way to 100%, and then past that 100% range to 99. So again, because this pertinent data is available from the Father of Lights, not humankind, YaHUaH provides this, we can just measure it. We can measure the light. We can number the light. We can count on the light. You can't measure darkness. That's why he's the Father of Lights and not the Father of Darkness. And on this sample on the right-hand side, for the 9th month of last year, we went by day all the way through. And as you can see, had an average for each day of 7.1%. And as you can see, you may want to take a look at this because it provides a 0.3 per hour average. So stop the video, understand this data because it repeats itself month after month. So this is all about discernment. Preparing is all about what do we discern? What can we actually measure? So again, stop the video at any time to focus on both the scriptural and astronomical information being shared. Again, a forecast is something that you can calculate or predict some future event or condition, usually as a result of study and analysis of available pertinent data. And this is why we know years and years and decades and hundreds of years in advance, let alone in the past, of each lunar eclipse. So here, as you can see, total information provided by timeanddate.com. This next lunar eclipse will be seen in the regions, at least in some parts for this eclipse, in Southwest Europe, Southwest Asia, Africa, much of North America, South America, Pacific, Atlantic, Indian Ocean, and Antarctica. And we can forecast it so well thanks to the awesome or YaHUaH gifts from above that YaHUaH, our Father of Lights, provides. We can actually know the total time, right to the second, and on that day. So for my area, as you can see, the maximum magnitude will be at 12:11 a.m. on the pagan day of Monday, May 16th. And then it ends on Monday, May 16th at 2:50 a.m. It also provides 5 hours and 19 minutes of this particular lunar eclipse time. That's how easy it is for human beings to utilize the gifts of light from our Father of Lights. So why ignore it? Why not forecast? Because once you forecast, you're prepared in advance where to look, when to look, and thus you can prove all things in creation with film and photograph footage, like we do for every month, and not just new moon days, let alone lunar eclipses, let alone solar eclipses. Again, we can forecast way back in the past, all the way to 1900, all the way to 2199, is what Time and Date is offering on their website, and there are some sites with even more years entailed. So let's forecast. And some people that are saying you can't forecast in advance new moon day, you got to wait for the 22nd day or some other methodology. Well, astronomically, that's not true. So have patience with them. They'll come around in time. As a result, and as another example, here is the USNO, or U.S. Naval Meteorology and Oceanography Command information. And for this year, it provides, from a midnight standpoint, if you plug in your area or location, postal code, zip code, or whatever, it gives it by midnight in the phases of increments. So as you can see here, for the first day of the first month of Abib, we all knew it was on the April pagan month of the pagan day of the 17th. And at that midnight time period, the moon was 100% illuminated. And that was Abib. Now, if we use the same tool, we know that May, the pagan month of May, on the pagan day of the 16th, there's that moon again at 100% illuminated, which will be a lunar eclipse. So let's go find out why and the positioning of this particular moon in alignment with the sun and the stars that it is assigned for a second month to rule with. So last month, we shared with everyone, if you use all of the witnesses of light, if you go to your only teacher first, the Messiah, YaHUaH, who had said that the light is a light on a lampstand. No one puts it under a basket, but places it on a lampstand high above so that all in the house will see it. So that's a huge witness, and many just discard it. And we'll get into that here in this particular scriptural study. And a restored moon. Well, what's a restored moon? Well, a restored moon has a process. And in the first month of Abib, YaHUaH provided 9 hours and 17 minutes of total full illumination light for everyone on earth. YaHUaH is impartial, as for his very word. So in my area, the moon went full at 10:22 a.m. on the 30th day. The midpoint was 2:22 p.m. I get that from timeanddate.com. And the finish was 7:39 p.m. on the 30th day of the 12th month. It restored itself on the 30th day of the 12th month, telling me that by the dawn, after this 30th day of the 12th month, it would be the first day of Abib. It has nothing to do with international date lines, Greenwich lines, or the Gregorian calendar, like so many are saying. Because if you go by a sunrise or a sunset start, and you use the Gregorian, you're going to come to the conclusion inevitably, which is incorrect, that a new moon day could be on different days, which is entirely astronomically impossible. And we'll prove this here and now on this forecast, just like we did last month. So as you can see, the 30th day of the 12th month regrettably comprises, of course, on the Gregorian or beastly calendar, of 2 days. Ignore the beast. You don't need the beast in your life. So the moon restored itself on the 30th day of the 12th month everywhere on Earth. Now, if you get into the beast in the Gregorian calendar, you're going to run into problems, and this is why we ignore it. So on the 29th day of the first month, the moon is going to restore itself everywhere on Earth. And yes, that takes place starting on Sunday, May 15th into Monday, May 16th. But from the celestial clock and calendar of YaHUaH, it's irrelevant. The moon is restoring itself. So in my area, the moon will restore itself, the starting point of the 100% illumination, at 7:40 p.m. of the 29th day of the first month. Its midpoint is just after midnight at 12:14 a.m. and stops at 4:32 a.m., telling me at the dawn the next day will be the first day of the second month. And in this case, we'll have a lunar eclipse. Again, this is if you follow what the Messiah YaHUaH stated, our only teacher, about the light on a lampstand, and if you believe a restored moon is full moon. If you don't believe these two things, you're going to come to different conclusions. It's that simple. And for the people that utilize a crescent or a conjunction, you're going to miss the point as well. So take a look at Jerusalem. It restores itself at 2:40 a.m. On the 29th day of the first month, its midpoint is at 7:14. Take a look at Perth. 7:40 it starts to restore itself. Take a look at Anaheim, California. 4:40 I should say p.m. there. Sorry about that. 4:40 p.m. on the 29th day. The midpoint is 9:14. And then at 1:32 a.m. it finishes being fully restored. So let's go through this in a little greater detail with me highlighting it to make it simple. So there it is. The moon restores itself on the 29th day of the first month. In Jerusalem does the same thing on the 29th day of the first month. It'll meet the dawn at 100% illumination. Perth, Australia, a little later, but it's still restoring itself in the fourth watch. If you go to Anaheim, California, it restores itself. Here it is again, right here, with its start, mid, and finishing point. Dallas, Texas. It goes full at 6:40 p.m. on the 29th day of the first month. Midpoint is 11:14, just before the midnight time period. And by 3:32 a.m., it finishes being 100% illuminated. And again, everywhere on Earth, YaHUaH will provide 8 hours and 52 minutes of full illumination. And on this lunar eclipse in my area, 5 hours plus. Again, Rio de Janeiro. It fully restores itself on the 29th day of the first month, just like it does everywhere on Earth. Take a look at Cape Town, South Africa. It starts the restoration of being 100% full after midnight on the 29th day of the first month at 1:40 a.m. And by 6:14 at its midpoint, it's meeting the dawn at 100% illuminated. That light on a lampstand saying, hello, it's New Moon Day. Take a look at Mumbai, India. Same thing. Starts its process of full restoration at 5:10 a.m. At the dawn. And then here we are for Nairobi, Kenya, Africa. Same thing. Take a look at Honolulu, USA. Everywhere on Earth on the 29th day of the first month, the process of restoration is taking place. The purpose of new moon being full moon is to teach us about the restoration of all things. It's prophetic. It gives us a confident expectation about YaHUaH and his plan to restore all things through his son, the Messiah, YaHUshua. Again, the moon greeting the sun at sunrise is not the end-all, do-all witness. It's a great witness and why we track it, but it's a false paradigm. It doesn't work. And if you use it, you're going to tell people, just like the beast does, the Catholic Church, that you can have Sabbaths on Sunday, Saturday, or Friday if you're Muslim. Saturday if you're Jewish or Seventh-day Adventist, and Sunday for Christians. They don't care what day you celebrate, as long as you're not doing the correct day with the celestial clock and calendar of YaHUaH. And that's a fact. I wish I could change it. I wish I could be influential enough, but I don't have the ability or skill set. That's the Messiah YaHUshua when he comes back. He will get rid of this silliness. So, again, we know that this is a fact, that when the moon greets the sun at sunrise is not the end-all, do-all witness. Because take a look. Jerusalem's moon is fully restored just after midnight on the 29th day of the first month. And by the dawn, its midpoint, it's meeting the dawn at 100% illuminated. But it's not greeting the sun at sunrise. It's minus 0.15 degrees below the horizon. Again, playtime is over. We have enough evidence. We have the pertinent available data. Take a look at Mumbai, India. The moon's going to greet the sun at the dawn at 100%, fully restored. But it's not going to greet the sun at sunrise. It's going to be minus 1.19 degrees below the horizon. Again, playtime's over. Look at Perth, Australia. Same scenario. Again, the visuals will be included in the description box of this YouTube channel. So if you ignore the witnesses, you will come to that inevitable conclusion which is erroneous. And it's very much like the beast. They don't care which new moon day you celebrate to start your month, and they don't care which Sabbath day. They just want to ensure you're not on the same day that the Father of Lights provides everywhere on Earth for new moon days, and thus subsequently Sabbaths will be on the same day for everybody. Again, a dawn day start is a scriptural day start. If you use sunrise or sunsets, even with the crescent and conjunction moon, folks, all hell breaks loose. Very easy to prove. So where does this come from? Well, a lot of you are asking me to explain this comment from this particular website, where it states, erroneously, your time zone affects your new moon day. That's not true. Remember, these calendars represent the Pacific Standard Time Zone only. So the author of this particular website and the team is situated on the west coast of the United States. They go on to say, meaning that depending upon your time zone, the new moon day and the 4 successive Sabbaths may occur on the previous day or the day following the date posted here at thecreatorscalendar.com. This reality occurs because the arbitrary man-made international date line in the Pacific Ocean continues to regulate the Gregorian calendar dates and intercepts a complete lunar calendar date. Most often, the new moon day will cross over two Gregorian dates in a 24-hour cycle. Again, drop the beast. So again, the 29th day of the first month shows the moon restoring itself everywhere on Earth, giving us 8 hours and 52 minutes on the 29th day of the first month, which happens to be here, but it's irrelevant. Look for the full restoration. Now, this particular site I enjoy. They have some great articles on it. We do our best to help them not continue requesting for financial donations, which is a non-scriptural approach. Again, the Father of Lights, these are gifts from Him. And what we have been given freely, we are to give back freely. So to request financial donations for a calendar that is off and still hooked to the beast. So again, we're not being mean. We're actually being loving. We care for these folks. And at the end of the day, they've come out of the world. They're making progress. We used to do what they do. We made the very same mistakes. The great thing about this site is when they finally realized any error, they correct it. And we have full confidence, or a confident expectation, this site will definitely look at what our only teacher had stated about the light on a lampstand and the fully restored process of the fully illuminated light that anyone can measure in increments every day by minute, hour, day, week, etc. So again, it's a great witness. Sunrise and sunset witnesses. They're great. Don't discount them. But if you just rely on this, you will run into trouble. It's inevitable. So again, take a look at the moonrise witness, because every day that moon rises here in the east and then returns back on its second round on the back half of the month. In the moonset, happens in the west and then returns back. And if you're looking at the second and third watch, you'll get this pattern, a circular pattern, counterclockwise, between the second and third or midnight time period. Stop the video, take a look at this, or print out these visuals that will be included in the description box in a PDF version. So, again, percent illumination can be tracked. YaHUaH gives it to us. Why hide it? So, as we can see, the 29th day of the first month, if you don't use all of these witnesses, you're not going to be even aware of what a restored moon is, let alone why the full moon is new moon. You're going to make further mistakes, like we did as well way back when. We tested and proved the conjunction moon, let alone a crescent. It didn't work in creation. We couldn't count or number our days correctly, and we couldn't test and improve it with a camera with film and photograph footage. So we dropped it like the hot potato that it was. Again, let's take a look now at this moon, this second new moon and month coming up with its lunar eclipse, and what stars it's going to rule with, as it does every year in the past, as it will do the same this year, and it will do the same in years coming up for a second month. As we go through this again, and we've shared this a couple of times, stars have what's called a measurement system called magnitude. And the lower the number, the easier it is to see. With the human eye, if you want to use binoculars or telescope, fine. You really don't need that. But again, understand that the lower the number, the easier it is to see with the human eye. And as a result, you possibly could, with some excellent photographic equipment, film and photograph them. So here we are. We're getting ready. Starting off with the first month of Abib. And as we shared, the moon rules the whole night with a star known as Abib for just before the first day of the first month, and the star known as YaHUaH, foot of the preacher, teacher, the one who cried out also is another name, and Arcturus. It's in the house, so to speak. And we knew that because it happens every year. And if you attach the constellation art, which we don't recommend, but some people are just starting out. This is why it's so easy to do in this day and age. And by the dawn, it was still ruling in that triangular house, so to speak, and why we knew 9 years in advance when New Moon Day was going to be, because of the pertinent data available here in this day and age. And by the way, the Magi understood this as well. They had far more detail than we do today and a far better understanding than we do today. So this stuff that I'm sharing here on this YouTube channel is still the basics, and we are still learning. So again, there's the constellation art added to it. And again, if you want to learn about the stars, there are great websites. There are great encyclical records. Francis J. Ralston is my favorite, which gives you all these names. So again, make sure your computer monitor or screen is on full view mode. If you're watching these videos, as we've shared before, on a mobile, you're kind of robbing yourself. There's a lot of detail. So you want a large screen if you can possibly get it. And if you can't, then go to the PDF that's offered, and you can visualize these visuals. They're nothing more than PowerPoint visuals in the description box. So again, let's now go to the second month and why it's 100% undeniable that New Moon Day will commence at the dawn on the pagan day of Monday, May 16th. And we'll see a lunar eclipse that night before on the 15th, past midnight into the 16th. So we are definitely prepared to prove the second month on the celestial clock and calendar of YaHUaH. So what are we going to see? Well, we're going to see in this second month the moon in the house. And this moon will be with these stars from a constellation known today as the Scales or Libra. And this is the top part of Libra, or the Scales. There's the center star. And those are the magnitudes. So these ones are a little more difficult to see. Where Arcturus is very easy to see. It's the brightest star. So everyone on Earth is going to see these stars right here. Now, some won't see Ursa Major or the North Star, but everybody in the northern hemiplane will. In the southern hemiplane, no, but they'll see everything above this. So all of these stars. And get the books out. Study these star names. The information that comes from them, from the ancient writings, is fascinating. Now, again, it's corrupt. The original names that YaHUaH gave to all of the stars, in some cases, have been lost. We believe this will be restored in the millennium by the Messiah Yahushua. But bottom line, here are the stars. Now, if you add the constellation lines, which we don't advise because you don't see this in creation, but for the purpose of simplicity, here they are. So there's Antares. So the moon, it's in the house. It's in the house, baby. So along with the rest of the scriptural stars that are tracked. And look where the sun is. It's going to be with the seven sisters or Pleiades, known anciently as Kima. So the seven-star cluster of Pleiades, the sun will be in alignment with. Check out the moon. It's at 180 degrees, and the sun is at the 0 degree mark. That is rare, and it's another contributor why this moon will be a lunar eclipse. You usually don't get that perfect alignment at 180, at the 180 mark, and the sun at the 0 degree mark. And remember, that sun, because, this is Barry, I'm going to see this at 1:19 in the morning on the pagan day of Monday, May 16th. So that's going to be right at that central point, highest point, fully restored, if you will. And that sun is going to be high noon somewhere in Asia. The greater light shines on the lesser light. So again, this is just astronomical detail. Whether you want to agree with it or not is irrelevant. We're not concerned if you agree or disagree. This is just the astronomical detail that anyone can test and prove in creation. There's no need to have any strife with any human flesh. There's no need. It's just data. If you want to argue with data, go ahead. We're at peace with that. But we don't. We just share the data. What you do with it is between you and the Father of Lights, just like as it is for us. So if you add the constellation art in with the lines, that's what it looks like. And by the dawn, the moon is still ruling in that house. And As you can see, the sun is still with Aldebaran and the seven sisters, Pleiades. Like it is for every second month celestial event in the past, coming up, and into the future. So let's go check out if that is true. So here we are back at the starting point for my hometown. Is it the same in other places? Well, here we are for Barrie in 2021. Same thing, right? Last year, we had film and photograph footage of this. So in 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, all the way to 2013, we have film and photograph footage of a second month, with the moon ruling with these particular stars in the house. So the bigger question is, if you use just YaHUaH and his calendar, 29th day of the first month, and you're fully aware of the moon is a light on a lampstand in its purpose between the second and third watch all the way to dawn, and you understand why the full moon is the scriptural restored new moon, not a crescent or a conjunction. If you ignore all of these witnesses, you're going to struggle with this. There's no doubt about it, because you're looking at the darkness. You're relying on the beast as well, which is very regrettable. But if you use all of these witnesses, as we've shared in these scriptural study videos from the past, all the way from 2013, you're going to see why these same stars that the moon is ruling with for a second month celestial event is the same in my area here in Barrie, Ontario, as it is for Mumbai, India. So our friends, our Berean study buddies in India and all across Asia, they're going to see the very same thing. So out of those 12 locations we track this together as one. Other Bereans track this. They're doing the very same thing now. This is getting so easy now, it's incredible. And we actually take out our iPads and we go outside. So I'll go outside or someone in Mumbai can go outside with their iPad, call me on Skype with that iPad, and I can witness their new moon. I can actually witness it. I can do it in my area in Barrie, and someone in Asia, it will be high noon. So this is what we're doing now. We are testing and proving together in different regions with iPads on Skype. It's wonderful. Anyone can do it. Of course, you have to be a Berean and assemble with other Bereans. Now, if you have horse blinders on and you're looking at your own backyard and you have no intention of hooking up or connecting with other Bereans, this could be problematic. So again, there's Barrie, there's Mumbai. Let's go to Honolulu. So we have a ton of Berean study buddies in this location. Same thing. So out of the 12 locations, it's your turn for some of you that still may be sitting on the fence with this from a Laodicean standpoint. Again, we did the very same thing. We're not judging anyone. We sat on the fence. I'm 62 years of age. I'm going into my 63rd year here very soon. And I sat on the fence for over a decade in my 40s. No, this can't be true. So now that we test and prove it with people from all over Earth, fellow Berean study buddies, it's undeniable. It's that simple. So make a long story short, there are reasons why the prophet Zechariah stated the following: "Thus said YaHUaH of hosts, see, I am saving, delivering my people from the land of the sunrise and from the land of the sunset." If you just rely on sunset day starts and sunrise day starts, you're from the land of confusion, Babel still. And if you're still looking at international datelines and possibly saying that a new moon day can be on the day before or the day after, by the way, you've seen the scriptural study videos on this YouTube channel. Rio de Janeiro some days has 2 days after the moon greets the sun, after the new moon day. So again, this is not the end-all, do-all witness we have been led astray to believe, and we've all been through it. So again, we have a confident expectation that people will understand why Bokar Shakar is the true scriptural start of a day, dawn, first light, which starts off the fourth watch, as we shared, and why we rise before the dawn and cry out for help to our almighty Father of lights, because design demands a designer. So, We do all of this work in workshops. If you're interested, reach out to us on our email address at family1@rogers.com at a time of your convenience. Because when you put your trust in the sun, moon, and stars, yes, all three witnesses of light from our Father of Lights, then all things work out extremely well. And if you understand by month where the sun is for that particular month and where the moon is ruling with what specific stars, then it's locked and loaded. You can't make a mistake. So again, thank you for allowing us to help. And thank you for all of those Bereans out there that provide their support in preparing to prove this latest lunar eclipse. And we look forward, very much forward, to the photograph and film footage for this second month on the celestial clock and calendar of YaHUaH. Thank you for all those folks that help us on this YouTube channel. You know who you are in regards to forecasting, because it really allows people that are interested in testing and proving in regards to what truly happens in the Shamayim. Again, sunrise and sunset, you don't get a 180 perfect. Remember, as the sun is rising in the east, that's the 90-degree mark. And it's not above the 90-degree mark yet. And as that moon is setting in the west, it's not a 180. That's the 270 mark. Simple, empirical, absolute, astronomical truth. But you're going to hear some people still do what we call the Johnny Carson two-step. We don't mock or make fun of any of those folks. At the end of the day, we were involved in that folly as well for some time. And thank you for the loving patience of other Bereans all over Earth, especially in this last decade, that helped us come out of that folly. So again, we continue to call upon YaHUaH, our Father of Lights, that these scriptural study videos provide value to you and your loved ones. So until next time, may the Messiah YaHUshua be in everything we say and do. So have a YaHUaH new moon day, new month, with this lunar eclipse, and we look forward to the sharing of film and photograph footage. Have a YaHUaH week, everyone. All the best in the name which is above all names.